So I'm Lisa Young. I'm the principal here at Beaver Dam Elementary. So there's lots of ways to differentiate instruction. You can do it in your classroom and you can do it with more of a school-wide approach. So basically differentiation is changing your instruction or the way you instruct to meet the unique needs of each learner. So you can differentiate content, product, and process and make them fit just right for kids. You can also provide instruction in small group, whole group, with buddies, and you can also differentiate just as a whole school where you're able to leverage interventionists and teachers to really fine-tune your instruction that's just right for kids. So there's a process in place at all schools where you first identify kids who need extra help, you differentiate your instruction on the classroom level, you gather assessment data including work samples, and you just keep supporting kids on the classroom level. If kids don't make the adequate growth that you expect, then you go to more of district level interventions, which are usually done with district level teams. And you're documenting these interventions constantly, and then you're communicating with parents. So if you reach a point where a variety of interventions have not gotten the results that you want, then you bring the child to a school-based intervention team. There's different names for it: TAT, student support team, lots of different names, but basically it's a team of school staff who have different backgrounds and knowledge bases that then can weigh in and suggest additional things to try with the child, and then you go again. And so you keep working through this process where you get more people involved, you fine-tune your interventions, and at a certain point, if they have not made the growth after all of that process, you can refer to special ed. So it's a process where we really want to meet the kids where they are as quickly as possible before learning challenges kind of get away from us, before kids start to form like a sense of themselves as not competent learners. So you start with the classroom, then you work out to the team in the school, and you involve parents the whole way. So in my role as principal, I have a few directives to my special ed team. One is that we honor the IEPs and that we co-construct those IEPs through the IEP team, actively involving parents. That's super important. And then the other directive I give is that we align our special ed services with our intervention services and our regular classroom schedule, so that kids that receive special education services also receive really good teaching in their classroom and also can be served by an interventionist if any of those layers better serve the child. So we've done a lot of work this year to have a school-wide schedule where a child with an IEP gets that grade level introduction to content, gets supported through an intervention team, and also gets their special education services. So those are really important to me, that we're good partners with parents and that we make sure that our kids with IEPs get more support and not less support because they have an IEP.
So my name is John Reyes, and I work at the Beaver Dam Junior Senior High School in the Littlefield Unified School District, and I work in the special education department up there. Well, there's multiple signs. I mean, the most obvious one is academics and those tools that we use to grade that. So, their achievement is an obvious one, but then there's multiple other ones that are not so obvious. If a student is very distant, from others and from what's being taught, the instruction and the teachers, they seem distant, that might be a sign. There's multiple factors to indicate that the student is struggling. As you see those, you try to identify those and you try to accommodate those with in-classroom accommodations, and then you get to a point where those aren't working, and then that's when you talk to the administrator and a student study team is formed to see if it needs to go beyond that to be screened for possible services. So. Well, you try to do as much as you can. I mean, parental involvement is real key to student success. If we don't have parental involvement, if that is missing, then it's pretty evident it's really challenging for the student to really have success if their parents aren't involved in their education in any way at all. And so just little things, making sure they're reading at night, just helping them with small assignments. Biggest thing you can help, just communicate with them. I mean, with special education, it's extremely vital to be communicating. I mean, it's the law to communicate with the parents, and so you got to keep that channel of communication open with the parents, or you're not going to have success. And just ask them to do small things to help their student out, and that you can be partners in their education to really find that success. So there's lots of different ways that you can do that, but just find simple things and what works on an individual basis for that student and that parent, and just their personality and what works. We try to use whatever source and whatever resource we have. We're like, in our situation here, we're a small district and small schools, and so everybody's involved. I mean, from personnel to assistive technologies to any kind of resource we can use. We try to use that with the parents. And for example, one of the things that we do with one of our high school students this year is for transition activities. We utilize that we have the elementary down here, and we bring that student down here to do transition activities in the cafeteria, learning those basic job skills in this building, kind of away from his normal environment at the high school, but it's still in the district and close by, and it's a resource that we can have to meet the needs of this student. Well, in a very simple way, I'll just kind of give you a shotgun kind of answer to this one, because it's a little complex. But basically, the basics to it is, like we talked about a little bit earlier, about identifying students who struggle. So the teachers or anybody else that's involved with the education of the student recognize that there's some struggles there. They'll refer to them to the student study team that's been established in the school, and follow the procedures. Each superintendent of a district is also responsible for implementing that identification process in their district, following IDA and other federal mandated guidelines. Essentially, so in the school, it's identified that way through the student study team to determine if for possible testing and eligibility. But another way that a district can do it too is by child find. And what I mean by child find is reach out to the community in various ways to identify students with special needs who are preschool age or even younger, to identify them as young as possible and to get them the services they need at a young age to prepare them to enter into a formal school setting. And so those are the two main ways, through the student study team referral process and also the child find.